Hello everyone, my name is Linda and I'm a developer in Bit Project, and today we will be analyzing tweets. So today we will be using pandas and NumPy to analyze tweets. So we have to set up our pandas and NumPy. If you don't have these installed, you'll have to run the following commands in your terminal. You can run pip install pandas, pip install NumPy. In order to use pandas and NumPy in your Python IDE, which is the integrated development environment, you need to import them first as import pandas as PD and import NumPy as NP. So those commands are just for when you were writing in your editor or writing in Jupyter Notebook, which is a common data analysis environment. So those are the places where you can call the packages and libraries that you install, such as Panda and NumPy, to call their methods to do what we want to do with them. So first we will be getting the Twitter client API. So today, a lot of the stuff we will be doing, we won't start from scratch. We will be using the API that Twitter already provided us, which is really convenient. So first, we can set up a Twitter client class. This will be easier for us for future purposes when we are building up our methods. The first one that we will be declaring today is get Twitter client API. So what this function does is that it will return the Twitter client. So let's instantiate a Twitter client using the class that we just declared. We'll be using it to analyze the tweet data that we will be receiving in JSON format later on. So, so I see some question about clients and API. So what is happening is that we will have our client and we will be sending APIs over to the server in order to get result. This will be made more obvious later on as we go through the later on slides. We'll be asking the Twitter server for data that we want to analyze. Now let's get the API through the function we just created and store it inside a variable for analyzing in the future. So, so in this command, what we're doing is that we are just, we're just making our call later on earlier. What we'll be doing is that we will use our API to call the methods that we want to use. So let's start streaming our first tweets. Let's create a variable called tweets that will store the data from the client. We can use an inbuilt function, user timeline, to stream the tweets. So for example, if we want to use Donald Trump's tweet, for instance. Oh, someone asked, what is the count in the second part of the bracket? It is just, we're getting the most recent 20 tweets. So go ahead and try printing the tweets that we have. And we should get the 20 most recent tweets in JSON format. And as we can see, it is not that pretty, but this will be resolved later on. Creating a data frame using pandas. What data frames allow us to do is that we are able to have the data that we received earlier in JSON format, which is really hard to read, but data frame allows easier organization and visualization for the user to manipulate and view the data. Go ahead and create a class called Tweet Analyzer. Now let's create a function tweets to data frame that will convert the JSON data into a data frame. So someone asked if you guys look at the first parameter, it says data equals to tweets text for tweet in tweets. I know that this is like really confusing, especially if you haven't, if you're not that familiar with Python or other programming languages. So what this will return is that data will be an array of all the tweet text. So for tweet and tweets, we are iterating through all the each tweet in all of the tweets, and we are returning the text field of the tweet. And then we will be naming, in the second parameter, we will be naming our data column tweets. Now to take advantage of this newly created class, we are going to create an object of this class inside our main routine and call the function on tweets. Is there any question up to this point? Oh, so for tweets to data frame, we are just doing what we were doing like on the last slide. We're just organizing like the JSON form, like just the JSON object that we see earlier, and then we're just retreating. Because if you go back and then we look at the JSON format, there's actually a lot other like information other than the text. There are like, I'm not sure if you guys can see it, but there's like a lot of irrelevant information as well. So we don't really want to look at those. We just want to look at the text for now. So now if we print out the first 10 tweets in our data frame, we can do this by, so our data frame is df, right? We declared it as df earlier. And then if we just, the syntax is just dot head 10, then we would just be printing out the first 10 rows of our data frame. So now all we have is text instead of like other fields. And next step, we can finally, like all we have done earlier is just like setting up for analyzing the tweets, and now we can finally analyze the tweets. So we can further, we have, there's like, even though text is like the most important part, but we can also look at other stuff, other fields in the other fields, other information such as the ID, likes, retweets, etc. And we can do so by using the NumPy arrays. So if you look at the code section, if you guys remember, we are doing the same thing as we did previously. We're also iterating through all of the tweets using for tweets in tweets, and then we are extracting different fields from the JSON object. For example, there's in the third row we are extracting the field created at into our date column. So this column of the data frame will be about what time is the tweet sent out. And we can go ahead and try printing the tweets now. And now everything is like so much cleaner. We can like see all of the name of the columns. There's like tweets, ID, length of the tweets, the day that the tweets are sent out, and where is what is the source of the tweet, like where is it sent from phone or computer. And we can see how many likes they receive and how many retweets that they have. So that's about it for today's session. So today we learned about how to set up our analyzing the data by using a Twitter API client. So we create a class and then we create a variable for it, and using that variable we can call many functions that we have. For example, we use user timeline to retrieve all of the relevant tweets that we want to analyze from a certain account. And then we create data frame, and then we transform all of our JSON data into data frame. And then we can also chooses among all the information that this JSON object provide us, which are the ones that we are actually interested in analyzing, and then we put them into our data frame. So this session should be so now that we have completed this session, we should be good to go for our future session, which will be more focusing on how we can analyze our data frames. Okay, thank you so much for joining me. I see you guys next time.
End session.
It's so bad.
Yeah, I know. No,